Hey YouTube, welcome back to more Jiu-Jitsu of the Mind and Black Belt Secrets. Now today, we're going to be talking about how my grandmother's rosary taught me some important life lessons. And I'm hoping that what I share with you today transforms your life forever. Okay, about 30 years ago, my grandmother wanted to leave a piece of her heart with her children, right? And that was her rose tree. It was a very unique rose tree. The flowers were very unique. So she wanted to give it to my mom so that she can continue this legacy. So she cut off a branch. Now my mom took it home and she put it in her garden. Okay, and that's the first life lesson that I learned. The first life lesson I learned was that whenever you start something new, that's when the most challenging times are going to come. Okay, when you first put that plant in the ground, that plant is going into an unfamiliar territory. It's new. It's like going into a new program, like going into a new jiu-jitsu program or the Successful Kids program. It's new. Your child is saying, "Hey, I don't know," same way with this plant. It's like, I don't know. And that's the time when we need the strongest support and the strongest love so we can push through our limitations so that we can become the superstars that we're going to become in life, right? So many people fail at this point because they allow their limitations. Well, actually, they focus on the limitations more than that they focus on the anticipation of greatness. Okay? So after that, thank God, this rose branch, it caught, okay, and it started to grow roots and it started to grow, okay. But remember, life is no smooth path, okay. So as this plant's growing, it has other challenges that come, right? And these other challenges are external forces like the weather. It could be very windy. It has to deal with winter storms. It has to deal with hurricanes. And where my mom's house is situated, it's up on a hill, so the wind can come through harder, right? And I'm sure that this rose tree fell over, right? And here's the next life lesson, okay? When we go through our challenges and we fall down, and we will, right? And the reason why we fall down is just to strengthen us. It's because we want to be superstars. In order for us to be superstars and to have that lifestyle, we're going to have to become that person. So sometimes in the process of becoming what we want to have, we fall down. And it's so important that we have a team around us that can pick us back up, right? And be able to prop us back up like how we would prop up a rose tree to make sure that it stays strong and the roots can continue to grow. Because one day it's going to stand by itself. Very important lesson. And that's why the Successful Kids program is so powerful because it's going to be those resources to help prop your child up when things are going in a negative direction. Okay? So the next thing after that is that you have these weeds, and then you have these insects and these bugs. They can also have a negative impact on the rose tree. Okay, so that's the next lesson. The next lesson is the law of entropy. Now, the law of entropy states that anything that's left to itself will move more and more into disorder. So you guys, if you ever had a garden, you know that there's these weeds that keep growing. And if you don't remove these weeds are going to take over your whole garden and destroy everything. Okay? And you don't want to test your rose tree to see if it can push through the weeds. Because here's the problem. Is that with weeds, okay, weeds carry diseases and bugs. Okay? And these things will eat away at your rose tree. So parents, it's important that you put your children into programs that are not going to be a distraction to them, that's not going to erode at them, that is going to give them freedom to shine and grow. Okay? So, as you know, a weed could be that you want to keep your child out of mischief, right? So, you don't want him to get into mischief, so that's a weed, right? The next thing is that you may want to avoid him from being in the wrong crowd. Okay, that's another weed. The third thing is that maybe you want to keep him out of being around bad influences. Okay, that's another weed. And then the fourth one, it could be that you don't want your child to go down the wrong path. These are all weeds, and you have to get rid of these weeds so that this rose tree can grow without any distraction and without any diseases and negativity being attracted to. So these are all great life lessons that I learned. So what I learned is that you have to be intentional. If you want to be successful in life, you have to be intentional on your goal. You just can't just be haphazard and just hope for the best. It doesn't work because the weeds will come in, right? Always remember that life is always moving to disorder if you don't do anything. Okay, so now this tree or this plant is now big. It's massive. My mother put so much stuff in it, so much love, so much nutrients. I mean, it's massive, and it's been like 20 years later. Okay, now here is the blessing. The one thing that she told me here recently, she told me, hey, because she's getting up in age, and so she told me, after I'm no longer on this earth, I want you to take care of this rose tree. Okay, and so now she's passing on her legacy to me. And now that I've learned these life lessons, I'm going to make sure that I take care of this tree. And I'm going to make sure that any weeds that get around it, any bugs, any weather, I'm going to make sure that I take care of it because it was symbolic for how I became a black belt, right? When I became a black belt, I went over to Ed Milan and I went over there to Boston. I had never been there before. So it's just like that first time, right? When I left there, he told me that I didn't have enough information to become a black belt. I had to go back home and train and develop myself. Same thing as getting that tree to grow. Okay? Now, why is this so important to you? It's because this process is going to help your child or you to become highly successful in life. Okay? Always remember, don't be afraid to start something new. Step outside of your comfort zone. It's okay. You're gonna have to change the way you're thinking. Always remember this. If you don't remember nothing out of this tutorial, remember this. Our conditions in life are created by the way we think. I'll say it one more time. Our conditions in life are created by the way we're thinking. So that's the reason why that rose tree is there today is because my mother was intentional with her thoughts and she made sure that she took care of it. So now that rose tree is huge because she was intentional. Okay? So I take that same thing on how I got my black belt. I was intentional. I kept working on it and working on it and working on it until I became a black belt. In closing, the reason why so many people don't make it to black belt or don't make it to their goals is because they had doubt in their mind. They in their mind they said this is not going to work. So they were doing something that in their heart thought it wouldn't work, and that's the reason why it didn't work. Because remember, your condition in life comes from the way you're thinking. So if you are experiencing doubt in your life or you're experiencing lack in your life, it's because that's what you were thinking. Okay? So hey, I really hope that this video was super helpful for you, and I hope that this transforms you into a superstar, right? And so, if you got anything out of this tutorial, this is what I want you to do. Smash that subscribe button. And I want you to like this video. And I also want you to share it with someone else that may be inspired by this tutorial. Okay? Until the next time, I'll see you on more Jiu-Jitsu of the Mind and Black Belt.